Okay, J Baba all. And so we'll begin with the part 2, second article of Intimate Talks with the Master.
Intimate Talks of the Master. God has to be real manifested use. God has to be real life impersonal. God has to bring in use in us, Him as our one. As the I in use in us, He as one is the manifestation imperative in us. It has to be Him in use in us for use of Him. Him as human creation and as pure being. Sri Meher Baba here states mystically, it is false conception to think that the I impersonal is absolute. No one is absolute until in me realized. No one is absolute until in me seen, known, and reacted. I here do the manifesting, reacting, reaction in use impersonal, in I individual, to create, to live, to do, to show, to act, to react the I as us real. I do me. Real in use. I give me to use in use me. Me in use is manifestation real of I as one, as truth, as God. He here speaking is use in us as verb. He in us is verb that makes form. Indivisible in us, He is in use one. Indivisible in us, He is use in I. Imperative in use. He here now is the new life in us that have to evolve in use in us, to realize in use in us, the new mind, the new I, the new conscious mind in us shall bring in use the new I as the oneness conscious individual, as the real human experience in us. Shall we as human creatures know Him to be the I impersonal? To all who win in I impersonal have the expansion in being, this is to show that in I imperative is the one in I as portion in no way real, and use imperative, but in I impersonal as one in I, use real. It is use one direct. When one in I has realized in use one in I, Him the pure human personal one. To all the students in I impersonal, it is of use real and true to see the difference. As one in I is one as I, when one is in him, the personal manifestation indivisible, imperative in I, as use one, resigned.
It is a long way to strive and a long act in resignation impersonal, to show in use in I individual, till one is in I impersonal, real and true self, in manifested real order, in mind, in being. Those we here see struggle in I impersonal, for use of them impersonal. It is far too indivisible in realization reaction to pursue. No one is able to pursue in I impersonal, the I indivisible, and imperative, as in all the four use-making I reactions as use one, is mind individual, the imperative individual opposition. So it is time to resign in I indivisible, in I impersonal, in I imperative, in I as use impersonal for him, the realization impersonal real as human being. That is all one has to realize here now in his life as presence immutable real one. He has to be in use in us, the manifestation imperative, as winning order to live indivisible in being, to give individual in experience our I. So it is our I here, now, that we have to sacrifice in use impersonal for use of him. Sri Meher Baba as realization impersonal in use in us is doing the new dispensation impersonal for use individual. He is one in all as life indivisible in use. This is to love. To love is to live in use one in I indivisible, for use of all. Here, he, the selfless pure will, says the verb that has to realize in us the truth. Love me more than your own I. Love me for use in all, as in all I am the one as portion indivisible. Use me to use you. Use me to serve the impersonal one and I as you, the indivisible portion. Live for use in me, the I in use in one. See in I imperative in one, the use impersonal in I, in use in all. Oneness is manifestation imperative in I, as use one, as experience real, love unselfish. Love me for use in I indivisible one, in I individual. Love in I indivisible, the I impersonal, for use one.
I hear say it in you, the disciple. Here Baba replies, It is imperative that you, the disciple, as use imperative in me resigned, be one in use in I individual for use individual. To serve me, be my one. To serve me, be the I individual that you owe to shine. Be indivisible in use, in I, in being, as life individual. No one is use in four, in I use in one, in I as portion indivisible, until in me realized. So it is me who is doing the realization, and no more the indivisible I, the I impersonal. So it is clear in I, in you, here now, that it is imperative to fall in me, to be in use in I, imperative, as me, the identification of I, impersonal, in being, and in I, individual, as creature, that is in duo reaction resigned, to have in use no real use. To see this is to see in me how it is that I am the realization use imperative. I hear as war in I individual am the realization reaction. I hear in you as striving I am the realization reaction. I hear as you individual in pain am the divine wrath to pursue in pain the real I, the one in I, the no one in I.
Jai Baba. So shall we continue right into from my notes? Okay. Yeah. From my notes by Princess Norina Matchabelli. Old or new forms of religion, old or new forms of religions cease to appeal to us when we begin to experience the inner life. The spiritual experience is a more positive and vital form of religion than the old externally established ritual, which is outwardly to create the intellectual thrill through modes and meanings, having become crystallized mental formalism that leaves us so cold. When we speak of the new spiritual awakening, we mean the deep order in being that is beginning to dawn in us due to the unfathomable stir in this cycle of spiritual resurrection. Man has not experienced yet the difference between the real feeling for truth and the outward expression as the intellectual conception of what is ideal, good, pure, and selfless. No one who is really acquainted with the inner expansion of the conscious existence shall ever discontinue to have the profound pure faith, which is knowing that all that is in existence is guided by the supreme will that in us is yet unconscious, uncontrolled, unwilling, used in most human beings. Whatever we think is unconsciously used by the impersonal pure will, which is in so many forms and terms the same one only divine existence. Whatever we may see, whatever we may see in this experience of the divine will, which is supreme and superior to our conscience, is indeed rare. Man will come to acknowledge in the inner order of his own mind that the Supreme Being is the superior will, which is coordinating in use of our whole human faculty. That is the unfathomable guidance, the supreme order.
Whatever we think or whatever we try to make ourselves feel through the autosuggestion of our imagination of that which is unfathomable, unseen, unknown, is vague. No one, unless awakened within the knowing realm of his divine existence, can come to know what he owes to be, what he was, what he is, and what he will become. The spiritual state within, as the scient order of being, is fact, which we shall experience. We shall bring it into full existence when we realize its real order in use as the pure, selfless conscience. Meher Baba has incarnated in this plane of the mind to make us realize our divine, pure, selfless conscience. It is not for us to make use of it, as we could in no way react in it by the ordinary means of our own intellect. We need not worry about this unconscious state that in us is merely a passing phase, but we need to realize that it is passing phase and that it is unconscious state and that it has to be overcome by the ways of life in its two-in-one growing shows, making us conscious. Throughout all in this life, the two opposing powers of our individual existence have real cooperative interest. No man in himself is right. When in the disputing mental state, he wants to do the negative reaction of that which is in him, the established right view. He must be selfless in whatever condition, situation, or form it is to be expressed. The right viewpoint is only one: to be unselfish. What we need to know is that whatever we aspire and whatever we try to understand, or whatever we do in order to make it clear to ourselves, is real and good, the realizing show, which has to clear the unconscious state of our subconscious ordinary mind. This is more or less the viewpoint of our modern psychology. Modern psychology has reached a point where the subconscious mind has become a science show in which the human creative experience is modified through the intelligence. Our mind as the intellect, which is more or less good or bad, or right or wrong. This superficially conscious form of thinking within this realm of life that is uncertain, unrealized, unreal, nor good nor bad, is far too small a science mode to realize the divine intuition existence, which is in every individual the latent state that has to be found within the ordinary human eye. Man in his own mind has no capacity to grow beyond his mind, which is I, its own way, as universal, as finite, as unconscious, as indivisibly realizing, as it is but a motion that has in its own another realized order, which is that of which the mind has but a small inclination to find out. We need not to be unconscious. We need not to be indifferent to the divine existence in us. We need not have a little scheme to live up to, but we must live up to the divine realization order and fulfill the divine theme.
The mind in which we call individual is in us divine and real when it is realized. When we become able to say, I have come to see and I have come to know that the divine order within as conscious self is in me in every realization reaction. I have come to understand that within me is the divine mind, that is the order of God. It is a rare treat to come to a point of real realization of this creation condition within, in which we have not to see, in which we have to see, know, and feel how it is possible to live in this world, to react to any of its ordering reactions and effects, and at the same time to conscious exist and feel the unselfish order in being. We must find the realized show in us as the divine existence by lifting the head and the heart. It is to self-react in use of God. It is to live in use of the mind as being. It is to show imperative in I, the use of God in us as conscience. God is in search of us. He comes disguised as the selfless servant of mankind. His greatest miracle is to lead us blindfolded to the meeting point in us with Him. When we abstract all religious intellectual conceptions from the real experience of the divine existence, we touch the pure basis of life spiritual. and that is the feeling for God. The temple of the living God is in us. The most sublime of all religions is the heart. It is that love which draws its essence from the source of all existence. It is sharing, giving the unchangeable benefit.
Meher Baba mystically replied to me by the following answer to my thoughts. When I come to the world in the form of a human being and make the supreme effort to be a divine human being, I have to bring to conscious realization within that which real, pure, good, unselfish. No other mental method will suffice in this new age of transmutation from the individual I to the infinite I. This unself-reactive order in the intellect that is done by me in a way that no one can see is to be taken for granted by you and those of my disciples who know that I am the God-realized one that has to bring to this plane of the mind the new spiritual resurrection. This so-called unself-reactive way to realize within the realm of the spirit the deep creation order that is to know, to see, and to feel is my so-called miracle in this epoch of the new cycle. When you say that the human being has to consciously realize within himself as the ordinary human being, the divine intuition, you say the right thing. The right thing is that no one except those whom I choose to become more realized within come to know me as I really am. Whatever this is, I here can only say it is to see me as I am. When I say that this is all, you have to accept it and no more argue. You have to feel it and in this understand that it is all supremely important that you do in every way what I in you or out of you do realize. And this is to obey and to make use of every minute of this life to fill yourself with the divine radiance that is coming through me. This radiance is not yet an order in this human, ordinary conscious mind. It is going soon to be a deep order, and it is soon going to be a deep upheaval, and it is soon going to be a profound, aware realization of truth in those who see. To see means to understand that which is not to be ordinary or merely individual and of the intellect. So have it be cleared in the minds and in the intellects of those who come here to see me that I am a human being that has come to make the world as much realize of its own divine existence as the human self is in readiness to realize. No more could be told to the ordinary human inquiring intellect than this. Say it to all who have not yet understood what is the divine life in themselves, that I have not yet felt the right, real reaction of them wanting to realize in being. This being of which everyone makes use as a term to express somewhat a superior realm of consciousness is a rare state in which men have no real self-satisfaction and experience of their own existence. There it is where the mind does not want to give in. There it is where men do not want to really and truly capitulate and consciously give up that which is unconscious. That which is unconscious is the head. In many ways, the human real reaction within, in the realm of being, is as far unconscious as it is in the reaction body, which is the so-called individual I. No one has really the desire to realize above that which is unrealizable through the process of dual thinking. Make no further effort to explain to people who are within unconscious of this unfathomable existence, which I am, that which is divine in a form of human being. Come to me, all who are heavy laden, and I will free you from the burden of your suffering. Come to me, all who are unself-conscious in the divine existence, and I will give you the way. Come to me, all who are unrealized within and unself-reactive without in the intellect, and I will see you out of that show of unconscious divine expansion, out and on to the pure form of being. Whatever I hear say, it is for you to use and not for the world to understand. As in these words is my life, that which is in you, the being existence.
You know very well that I am the very being that has come to existence for the good of mankind. To make it clear, I have to perform the life of every human individual. That is to say, I have come down to the level of every human state of consciousness. I make it clear in them by being them as they owe to be and as they show to be. For that same purpose, Jesus, Muhammad, Zoroaster, Buddha, Krishna came into human existence. They did not come to give life and matter and body and human advantageous conditions. They came to strengthen in mind and in body that which they must have in order to come to a new conscious state, which is the pure, unselfish winning will to overcome all limitations, all bindings, all individual customs of thought and experience. This is all clear, but who is right at that point to win and to win? and to win. I repeat it 3 times, as in these 3 times I order within the subconscious and in the realm of life that is more spiritual as human creation, and in that other side of the human creation, which is real and divine. In these 3 forms or bodies, I make the divine upset, and I create that which I here come to say to be the new evolutionary order to awake in the realm of life, which is yet unself-conscious in the head and in the heart of men of this earth. No more or no less, my life here has to bring into existence a very deep human mental state out of which man has to see, to know, to feel that it is I who have come to give this divine upset. The divine upset has to be the supreme expansion in consciousness possible to be obtained in man. The supreme expansion of the conscious existence in man has to be the new form of free religion. It is no more to be called by any name, but it is to be felt. It has no more to be conscious in the intellect in form of idea or thought. It is the being that in this mind of the human creation has to conscious realize and see and be. Today I say this for the new age that has to come, and no more for the past earth conditions that have to pass. I say this to make it clear that I have not come to establish any form of new religion or creed or school of thought, but that I have come to put straight the human conscience. Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Hey, Bing, Betty, Jai Mama. Yeah. 312, that's...
Very strong.
Yeah, boy, that, I often thought that, should we, maybe let's not record again.